Ngayong gabi sa Counterpoint, alamin natin ang kwento sa likod ng mga istorya. Kikilalanin natin ang mga personalidad at ang kanilang mga paninindigan. Lilinawin natin ang mga issue na mahalaga sa lipunan. Ako po, si Salvador Panelo at ito ang Counterpoint. Sa panahon ngayon, mataas ang presyo ng mga bilihin, pero masarap pa rin ang kumain. Kakainin mo pa ba ang paborito mong pagkain kahit mahal? O magtitipid ka muna? Kung ako, bakit naman magtitipid ako? I might as well eat as much as I can kahit na mahal. Sapagkat kailangan natin ng pagkain eh. Biro mo kung magtitipid ka, bibili na lang ako ng asin para gawin kong ulam sa kanin. Hindi po pwede. Habang totoo na napakamahal, pwede naman tayong yung kaya lang natin. Pero huwag yung magtitiis naman kayo. Yan o para sa akin. Ngayong gabi, makakasama po natin ang dating kalihim ng kontrobersyal na Department of Agriculture. Kikilalanin natin ang taong ito sa pagbabalik ng Counterpoint.
Nasan ba yung last will and testament na sinasabi mo? Akin na, basahin natin.
Kailangan yung magkakapatid na mag-stay dito sa bahay niya hanggang sa matupad ninyo ang lahat ng habilin niya.
Wala nang umigo sa mga niluluto mo kasi hindi naman masarap.
Excuse me.
Tigil nga kayo! Kaldero lang, ipupok ko sa ulo niya yan.
Kailangan ko ang pera, kaya kailangan mo magbayad ng utang mo.
Brief mo ba to?
Ano masama?
Abay, kumonti ko na itong makuha kanina para ipuna sa mukha ko. Yun lang naman ang masama. Parang gusto kong hatiin itong bahay.
At walang tatawid sa linya na yon.
Okay.
Malinaw.
Malinaw.
Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25.
Pasuspense tayo kanina kung sino ang ating panauhin. Pero ikinagagalak natin siyang makasama. Ang two-time Department of Agriculture Secretary. Una, bilang Acting Secretary noong 1998 up to 1999 sa ilalim ng termino ng dating Pangulong Joseph Estrada. At Secretary of Agriculture naman mula 2019 and 2022 noong nakaraang administrasyon sa ilalim ng ating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Let us welcome in Counterpoint Secretary William Dar.
Thank you very much, Secretary Sal, for this
Welcome po,
invitation.
welcome. Thank you for coming.
Salamat po.
Pinurusahan po natin ang ating mga kababayan at we wanted to know the reaction on certain issues, especially pagdating sa mga nabibili sa pangangailangan pang-araw-araw. Sa mataas na presyo ng sibuyas, lalong-lalo na. Dati-dati, 140 pesos kada kilo ito noong Agosto. Bigla na lang umakyat. 700 pesos kada kilo ngayong Disyembre. Hanggang ngayon, mataas pa rin. At mukhang hindi nasusunod yung SRP o yung Suggested Retail Price ng Department of Agriculture na 250 pesos per kilo. Panoorin muna natin ito.
Hindi pa rin bumababa ang presyo ng pulang sibuyas sa mga pamilihan sa Metro Manila. Sa kabilaya ng ipinatutupad na suggested retail price ng Department of Agriculture na aabot sa 250 pesos kada kilo. Katunayan sa Quinta Market sa Quiapo, Maynila, aabot pa rin sa 550 hanggang 600 pesos ang kada kilo ng sibuyas. Reklamo ng mga nagtitinda hindi sila maaring sumunod sa SRP dahil halos 450 hanggang 550 pesos pa rin ang kanilang angkat sa kada kilo ng sibuyas sa Divisoria.
550 po ang kilo eh. Kaya 600 po ang bigay namin.
Kasi buwes pwede bumaba pag anihan na kasi itong year na to.
Ang ibang mamimili wala raw magawa kaya tingi-tingi at tinitipid na lang ang paggamit ng sibuyas.
Hindi ba nahihiwa, nakakaiyak na po? Sa presyo niya po.
Kumbinsido naman ang Department of Agriculture na may mga grupong nagtatago ng sibuyas. May mga grupo rin umano na nag-udyok sa mga magsasaka para itaas ang kanilang presyo.
Nung nakita nating tumaas hanggang 460 pesos per kilo ang farm gate, alam naman po natin ang cost of production. Kahit po i-factor in na po yung losses ng ating mga magsasaka, makikita pa rin po natin na kahit paano pwede pa nilang ibaba, no? Pwede pa nilang ibenta ng mas mababa sa 460. Ang nakita po at na-report po sa atin, meron pong mga buyers na naging parang bidding po, parang auction. So naging auction na ang bentahan ng sibuyas, tumaas ng tumaas ang farm gate.
Sabi ng DA, gumagawa naman raw sila ng paraan para ibaba ang presyo ng sibuyas sa pamamagitan ng direktang pakikipag-ugnayan sa mga onion farmers para direkta ng ibenta sa mga palengke. Kung wala raw kasing middleman, maaring masunod ang 150 hanggang 250 pesos na SRP sa sibuyas. Inaasahan nilang bababa pa ang presyo nito sa huling linggo ng Enero o hanggang Marso kapag bumuhos na sa merkado ang mga inaning sibuyas.
Ngayon, Secretary William, napanood natin. Bilang dating former Secretary of Agriculture, ano bang reaction niyo rito?
Secretary Sal, ito ang aking analysis kung paano dumating dito sa presyo na 700 per kilo itong sibuyas.
Educate us, please.
Yeah, kasi was monitoring the whole thing.
All right.
I've been very silent all these last 6 months, but always trying to analyze what's happening in the sector of agriculture.
All right.
So, alam ninyo, in agriculture, you have to really agree for the immediate to the medium term, ano yung goal mo? Habang pinupunuan mo yung local production. Kasi in general terms muna, we are a food importing country.
Okay.
Meaning we produce to some degree the level of production in onion particularly, but we only produce about 80 to 90%.
In other words, may deficiency.
May
So we
deficiency
have to
ng
import.
20%. So, yun ang sinasabi ko. While the long-term goal is food self-sufficiency, which has been, I understand, is the long-term goal of this present administration, which I also support, you know. But for the immediate to medium term, dapat ensuring food security is the goal.
Okay.
And what is the meaning of that or implication of ensuring food security? You prop up or boost local food production as much as you could so that you can even go near the self-sufficiency level. Why not? But malaki pa yung deficiency.
Alright.
In this particular instance, nung nandun pa kami sa DA, noong 2019, 80% nga ang sufficiency level sa sa sibuyas. Ngayon, gumawa kami ng paraan na iakyat po natin ng 90%.
May 10%.
So, mayroon pa rin 10% at alam ng DA ito. So, ang aking tinutukoy ay dapat palagi you have to apply and do what I call supply and demand analysis.
Okay.
Para sa ganon, kung talagang based on historical data and other factors, present factors, makikita mo naman talaga doon na yung deficiency level. Is it 10%? Is it 12%? 15%? Okay. And they were doing that starting in August. Pero nangibabaw na maraming nagsasuggest na huwag kayong mag-import. Again, implying na there is a goal of government na food self-sufficiency. Pero you cannot turn this overnight, Secretary Sal. A growing season of onion is 3 to 3.5 months. And it will take time before you can really produce 100% of your requirement in the country. So, ang impact ng decision na yan na hindi nag-import ng 10%, much more white onion in August, ito na, mayroon cascading impacts until it reaches, it's now reaching 700 pesos per kilo. So had they imported that 10% sa white onion, dumating sana nung later part ng October, and that would serve the very purpose of the November, December demand, which is really high demand sa ating, if you compare other months of the year, ito talaga yung very high demand during last quarter of the year.
Samantala, ibig kong sabihin, Secretary William, kaya hindi tayo nag-import dahil itong administrasyon, or for that matter, kung sino man ang in charge sa agriculture, pinakinggan yung mga kumontra.
Halos ganun nga nangyari na may nagsasabi, huwag kayo mag-import. Again, as the leaders in the department has to be guided always that, of course, the first priority is to help our farmers boost their productivity levels. At the same time, looking at ano pa yung dapat gawin para ma-ensure mo yung kapakanan ng karamihan, the consuming public also. So, yun ang balancing act na gagawin mo dyan sa DA. Nangyari nga, mayroon naman deficiency pa. So you have to, where do you source that if you don't import?
So mali yung sinasabi na the reason why we did not import ng onions dahil dun sa sugar fiasco.
Again, it has some similarities, Secretary Sal. Ganun din, yung ang dami rin stakeholders sa sugar industry, may producers, may millers. So, ang gobyerno palagi, you use an informed decision-making process. And that's through the supply and demand analysis. Base sa historical data, base doon sa improvements sa productivity over time. So, i-factor in mo lahat yan. And this is your basis to make a decision at what level of imports you will have to have. May analysis ang DA dati, even when I was already there, may analysis tayo na may pagkukulang na asukal itong next 6 months of 2022, which happened now.
And in fact, I understand, because I made research on this, yung sinasabi niyong may kulang, in fact, pati yung planters, yung producers, yung traders, nag-agree sila. In fact, unanimous ang rekomendasyon, 300 tons, metric tons.
300,000 metric tons.
O 300,000 metric tons.
Opo.
Yun ang rekomendasyon eh.
Tuma.
Kaya nga on the basis of that, nagkaroon sila namang meeting, pumayag naman initially.
Tama
Kaya
po.
lang biglang pumutok. Kaya nagkaroon ng fiasco tinatawag.
Well, yun, again, using an informed decision-making tool is always a must.
Ako, ang duda ko doon politiko na naman yan Politiko kasi, alam mo, in fairness to the President, yung rekomendasyon ng 300,000 metric tons, he even floated the idea. Nagawin natin 600 tons.
Bigger than that.
Bigger pa nga, kaya bumilib nga ako. Sabi ko, meron siyang magaling tong mag-anticipate. Kaya lang sabi nga ni Mr. Sirapika, Mr. President, okay na akong 300. O kaya lang, somewhere between that meeting and another event, meron isang politikong, alam mo na, ayun, nakinig na naman sila. Yun na naman, nangyari na naman.
Opo, ganun palagi. We should really do a much better way to really manage this food inflation.
Tungkol naman sa mga presyong ito, is it true also na may mga manipulation din. Yung mga traders daw. Palaging
Well,
they're
halos
blaming always the traders.
nandyan na, because nagsamantala na yung traders. Nung alam nila, hindi
Na hindi matutuloy.
hindi na pinayagan ng gobyerno yung importation. So, ang dami na. They made it very complex environment. So, even smuggling came into the picture. So, nakita ang dami ng smuggled onions. Kasi walang regular na approved na import clearances.
You
na
mentioned
ibig-
about smuggling. Ito ba hindi natin nasira o na-stop ito?
Hindi pa po kasi ang dami pang loopholes ang batas. So we need to strengthen the anti-smuggling law. And even they were, dun sa anti-smuggling law Secretary Sal, ang pinaka-ahensya na pwede lang maghabla ay ang Bureau of Customs. Ang DA ay kasama sa monitoring and evaluation,
Hindi sila pwede
pero wala
maghabla.
silang police power. So always you have to do it in tandem with BOC. Kung hindi ka binigyan ng papeles, yung parating ng
Hindi malalaman.
hindi na malalaman ng DA.
Meron kayong, I read something about your article sa Manila Times.
Opo.
At meron kayong binabanggit na 7 major themes. Can you
Okay.
elaborate on this?
We go through global developments.
Okay.
And one of the organization looking at or doing foresight analysis in agriculture and food is the Grow Intelligence. So they have defined 7 themes, or I would call it, these are areas, watch list areas, na tututukan natin at gawan natin ng paraan na dapat hindi ito mangyari kasi these are the headwinds that are impacting into agriculture and food in the country. So they are saying globally 7 of the 7 themes include, number 1, all things relating to food inflation.
Okay.
So which is happening dito sa Pilipinas now. Pangalawa po yung rising Chinese imports. Halos ang China, with all their might, economic might, ay binibili niya what is available kasi may pagkakulang din to some extent, some of the
Sila.
items sila. Soybean, lahat yan. So, the third area is the competition between the use of these crops for fuel and food. So may competition yon. Mas lalo na sa soybean sa US, they turn soybean into biofuels while the rest of the world would be needing that for livestock. Now, the fourth area is yung some of these staples will be recovering dito sa taon na ito, but not all staples. And for example, sa rice and corn dito sa atin ay because of other compounding issues, kagaya yung which is one of the areas yung masyado mataas ang presyo ng fertilizers. This will inevitably lead to the reduction in the use of fertilizers by the farmers. So I hope that this last year ay maganda yung ani, but all analysis would point na mayroon reduction of pala yields last year. Ang record harvest kasal ay nung 2021 when we were there, 19.96 million metric tons, ang highest recorded rice production ng Pilipinas.
How many years ago is this?
That was in year 2021.
2021.
So last year, di ba, 6 months, for 6 months of the year, nandyan pa tayo. Then the last 6 months, because of the rising fertilizer cost, ay bumaba yung paggamit ng abono ng ating mga magsasaka.
That is why the former President Duterte ordered subsidy to the farmers sa parte ng fertilizers.
Opo, nandyan yung subsidy. Now, one factor to really look at, Secretary Sal, yung pag-deliver ng subsidy, dapat on time, dapat before the start of the production season.
Yun ang nagka-problema na naman. Merong subsidy pero hindi naman nakarating sa mga farmers
Not
on
timely.
time.
Yeah, not on time.
And what was the reason for that?
I cannot answer for the Department of Agriculture. It should have been given much earlier.
Yan pala naging problema. Tapos ano pa ho yung ibang...
Okay, the other
teams.
teams, yung global wheat supplies natin, there could be some little relief, but still the challenges are enormous. May droughts in the west, so that's going to compound and resulting to the yield decline.
Pati yung Russia-Ukraine. Kasi Ukraine ang malaking...
Tama po.
Diba?
Ukraine and Russia are producing much of our staples globally. They also produce fertilizers.
Yeah.
So, bali tatlong global challenges is impacting also to agriculture. Ito, COVID-19 to some extent disrupting food supply chain, then the COVID and climate crisis, which is now wreaking havoc globally. And the third one is this conflict in Ukraine. So geopolitical events.
And there's no solution inside.
And hoping that that has to be done, the conflict to be resolved soon. Because if not, this problem in agriculture lingers.
Yung sitwasyon natin.
Opo.
Okay.
Now, the other themes would include, I have mentioned the fertilizer prices continue to bite, an impact into crop production globally and, of course, the country, because we don't produce enough or we don't have manufacturing facility for chemical-based fertilizer. And,
Teka muna, balikan ko kayo doon. Bakit? Matagal ko na naririnig yan. Bakit wala tayong...
Well, karamihan po yung fertilizer na manufacture sa ibang countries ay oil-based. Yung byproduct ng oil. Yun po ang ginagawang fertilizer. Wala tayo masyado.
Apart from that, wala bang ibang ways by which we can manufacture?
There are other types of fertilizer. That's why sinasabi ko, when I was there, we institutionalized yung balanced fertilization strategy sa Pilipinas. Anong ibig sabihin?
What is that?
Chemical fertilizer is one source.
Yun ang naririnig ko yung chemical fertilizer.
We have been dependent solely on that all this time. But now there is a window for the use of biofertilizers.
Paano naman
Ito yung mga resulta ng fermentation process using also nanotechnology. So may mga biofertilizers and or biostimulants even locally developed that can be scaled and commercialized in a big way to compensate for the reduction in the use of chemical fertilizer. At ang pangatlong source po yung organic fertilizer. Yung composting, lahat yan, any biomass that can be turned fertilizer, dapat talaga ibalik sa kalupaan.
I understand yung China, magaling dyan. Pagdating sa fertilizer,
So,
chemical.
dapat isustain natin ito. We will have to scale up. We went to Vietnam a month ago, and I really saw for myself, there are a good number of manufacturing facilities formulating organic fertilizers.
Pwede natin kopyahin.
Dapat marami na tayong encourage the private sector to get engaged and invest in the biofertilizers, in organic fertilizers, formulation and manufacturing.
Now, wala na ho bang ibang theme?
Well, the last part would be yung protein sources natin. I don't expect bargains kasi still will continue to be a challenge. So overall, these 7 teams or 7...
Bakit to? Can you tell us why it will be continuing challenge?
Doon po sa protein, animal feed cost is really the problem. Itong kagaya soybean is needed in animal feeds.
Okay.
If that is competing with the manufacturing of biofuels, that's reducing the supply for animal feed protein.
Kompetensya pala
Opo,
yan.
may competition din yun. So balancing act yan. And we should bolster the production of other sources of protein locally. Meron naman tayong na-identify na iba't ibang protein sources that can be scaled up and commercialized in a big way so that mapunuan natin yung kakulangan na soybean meal galing abroad.
Eh yung meron bang epekto yung climate change?
Oh yes, big. I was mentioning already 3 big C's. COVID-19, alam na natin na disrupt yung supply chain. That's why tumataas din yung mga presyo ng agricultural inputs. Dito sa climate change, ay talagang this has been a continuing phenomenon. And increasingly, nakikita ninyo yung epekto ng climate change. There are areas na dati-dati walang typhoon, ngayon may typhoon na, Mindanao for one. And you will see that one of the most vulnerable countries in the world in regard to this extreme weather events is Philippines. So climate change, we have to the line to be part of the solution. Kahit maliit tayo na bansa na we are not contributing much to the greenhouse gas emissions, but still we need to start building up our mitigation and adaptation implementation measures.
Ngayon, ito ang aking itatanong sa inyo. Ang karanasan nyo bilang Secretary of Agriculture, hindi matatawanan. Kasi 2 beses na kayo naging Secretary of Agriculture. Hindi ko nga maintindihan ba't di kayo ginawa. Anyway, assuming, kung kayo ay nakaupo o nakabalik, sana mangyari. Ano sa tingin nyo ang unang gagawin nyo upang magkaroon ng katugunan yung pangkasalukuyang sulit?
Secretary Sal, before I answer that, let me put a bottom line here on all these big challenges.
Okay.
And relating it to what is happening in the Department of Agriculture.
All right.
The President, being the Secretary of Agriculture, has done his responsibility to project ano yung directions,
Okay.
ano yung goals.
All right.
Ang aking tinitingnan yung second chair na dapat mag-translate itong goals na and policy directions ng Presidente, yun ay one thing. So, President BBM is doing his best. But we want to see a translation of those policy pronouncements, those policy directions into something operational action plans that can be guide for the implementing agencies and the like. So, yun, para ma-clarify na I'm not criticizing the President, but I'm just situating it in a way na ginagampanan niya yung role niya, but dito sa second chair, that's where the more proactive stance must happen.
In other words, yung mga alter ego niya ang nagkakaroon ng pagkakamali. Kaya, even without responding to my question, mukhang alam ko na ang sagot nyo. So if you're there, yun ang gagawin nyo.
Well, itong 7 areas na na-mention ko kanina, I will be guided by that, if ever. But we are not hoping for that. I mean, ako, interesado ako dati. But ngayon, mag-practical na lang tayo. We do what is best and still contribute to enhancing the growth and development of our sector in a way that, for example, ngayon marami na rin akong engagements sa private sector. So doon happy na ako ngayon at contributing still into the growth and development of the sector.
Oh, I heard na kinuha kayo ng Go Negosyo
Opo.
as consultant.
Opo, and let me cite itong Go Negosyo has been leading in terms of micro, small, medium enterprises in the country, the development of this, because much of the jobs that we generate would come from these MSMEs, okay? Now, one program that just started under Go Negosyo is to bring the big business leaders in agriculture, the agri-industry leaders, to champion that commodity and partnering, bring the small farmers. Ang sabi ni Joey Concepcion, yung micro farmers as partner of the big business. That's where agri-industry comes in. Manufacturing. You know, the manufacturing sector in the country is highly dependent with your raw materials in agriculture.
Now, Sec William, meron akong tinanong tungkol dyan sa lack of production sa sugar, yung mga tubo. Sinasabi ng mga nakausap ko, ang problema kasi, alam mo ngayon, yung mga magsasaka parse-parsela na, kalilit ng mga lupa na, iba, binibenta pa. Ano magiging solusyon dyan?
Tama, small land holdings, that's one characterization of Philippine agriculture. And that's why when we were there, one strategy that we put in place is the farm clustering and consolidation. Ano ibig sabihin? Sa palay production for one, a minimum of 100 hectares. Pag sama-samahin mo yung mga farmers in one contiguous area, at ito na yung tutulungan ng gobyerno, hindi individually but as a collective, as a group. Kasi yung serbisyo ng gobyerno hindi naman kaya na individual. Dapat to improve efficiency of farming. And so you need to cluster and consolidate kasi maliliit ang land holdings. Otherwise, another solution, Secretary Sal, yung legislate a much higher land holding level or limit.
Kasi nga, kakalit.
Oo, kalit ngayon. Yung agrarian reform law, 5 hectares. Alam mo, with the number of children, wala nang 5 hectares.
Oo nga, sa dami.
So average-wise, 1.5 hectares. Kaliliit. There's no economies of scale.
Now, Sec William, meron akong huling tanong sa iyo. Alam natin, si Presidente assume the position of Secretary of Agriculture. Sa tingin niyo ba, panahon na talagang magbigay niya ng pangalan at ilagay niya na? Kasi sa tingin ko, wala naman siyang panahon na . Ang dami niyang trabaho.
Alam ninyo, maraming nagawa let me highlight the very positive things as a result of the President taking responsibility of the Department of Agriculture. Number one, yung budget ng agrikultura for this year, lumaki. Very significant. 46%.
Okay.
So that's very substantial. Because I've been hammering that out noon na neglected, underfunded, underdeveloped ang agrikultura. That's why naghihingalo. Sabi ko nga, now given more fuel, you can do much more things to prop up and boost productivity.
Okay.
So now that's going to start. Pero siguro, let me have the second one, na i-focus o na nabigyan niya ng diin na priority sector ang agrikultura. So ito very substantial at nakikita na lahat na tumutulong na lahat, halos karamihan, ang mga various stakeholders to make it possible. Laman lang, one thing nga, dito sa baba. Baka ma-Sebastian sila. Yun ang after effect ng sugar fiasco na yun.
Wala ba kayo naririnig na pwedeng pumalit yan?
Wala po, wala tayo sa radar. Tayo, busy na lang tayo gumagawa nitong pagtulong sa mga iba't ibang agricultural companies na tinutulungan natin.
Oy, maraming salamat. Pero mamaya ho, pagkatapos nitong konting commercial, babalikan po natin Secretary William at alamin naman natin ang kanyang personal
Salamat po.
na buhay.
We're in the sky. Kaya lumilipad na naman tayo. Sino ba itong uupo ngayon sa ating iconic chairs?
Finally, nag-guess na rin ako dito. Just canceled everything for you.
Talaga, ay, naku, nakakatuwa naman. Medyo kakaiba ang ating papasukin ngayong araw. The Goodwill Resort with the Goodwill Cast. Woo! Tinur niya tayo sa kanyang bagong buhay.
Mundo.
Tamang-tama, pinag-uusapan sila ng lahat ngayon. Niya ka!
Ayan na.
Ayan na. Alam mo talaga siya, no? children.
Yes! Tatlong buwan! Kinasal ka na?
Yes! Ngayon natin malalaman ang totoo. So now, let's spill the coffee.
Spill the coffee.
Yes. And we're here at Net25. Ito ang tahanan ng Corina Interviews.
Let's get together. Sunnet 25. Sunnet 25.
Kilalanin natin ngayon ang personal na buhay naman ni Secretary William Dar. Secretary William, ibahagi mo naman sa amin yung family background mo.
Opo. Ako po ay anak ng isang magsasaka.
Oh,
So, simulat sa pool, nung bata pa ako, sinasama na ako dun sa aming lupain.
okay.
At tumutulong ako sa aking ama na nagbubungkal
Saan lugar ba ito?
sa Santa Maria, Ilocos Sur po.
Alokso.
So, madalit sabi ay talagang laki sa hirap. Poverty, it's a hand-to-mouth. Maybe we can be we have been self-sufficient, but you have to work harder to get some extra income. That's the whole depiction of the family. And I wanted really to get out of poverty by having a good education.
And I understand one of your uncles sent you to school.
Yes, my uncle was one of those who supported me with my parents. So nakatapos tayo.
Anong pangalan nitong uncle niyo?
Uncle ko Agustin Doliente. My mother is a Doliente. So
Kapatid ng
nanay. Ay, siya yung isang tumulong sa amin kasi my parents cannot afford to send me to school. Nag-graduate ako ng valedictorian. Yun ang entry point ko
Sa
sa
high
college,
school?
sa high school.
Okay.
So, nung afterwards, I have to go to another university to finish the degree. And that's where my uncle again came forward to help.
At saan kayo nag-graduate?
Sa Mountain State Agricultural College.
Na ngayon
which is
ay Benguet.
State University in Trinidad, Benguet.
But you said it earlier already na gusto mong makaahon.
Sa kahirapan.
So
I
it
have to
goes-
go to masteral degree, then even Doctor of Philosophy. By the age of 27, natapos ko na yung Doctor of Philosophy ko sa UP Los Baños.
So it goes without saying na you didn't want to be a farmer for the rest of your life.
Alam ninyo, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh, really?
Kasi nakikita ko nung high school pa ako, debater rin ako eh.
Okay.
So why not? I said, kung kaya ako pa aralin, maging abogado, why not? Pero yun nga kahirapan. So, being a high school valedictorian, may opportunities na scholarship. That's when I started agriculture.
Sa ngayon, marami na kayong achievements, di ba?
Well, sa awa ng Diyos ay consistent yung ating mga ginawa, always making a big difference in every assignment that we had.
Meron pa ba kayong gustong abutin?
Well, I have always said that before na this is continue to do payback time to the country in many ways, be in government or in private sector. So yung continuous pagtulong, I am now older so I may have more knowledge and wisdom to contribute to, again, advancing Philippine agriculture.
Nabanggit niyo yung inyong mga magulang. Do you remember kung meron kayong natatandaan na pinayo sa inyo na hindi nyo makalimutan na sinunod nyo?
Well, talagang disciplinarian ng aking father. The mother was more of, alam man ninyo dun sa mga parentes, mayroon yung disciplinarian, mayroon yung isa.
Merong spoiler.
Very spoiler. Yeah. So ganon. At palagi ang aking father would always say, you will have to work hard and work harder para mas maangat ka at yung gusto mong matupad na degree na makuha mo ay talagang makukuha mo. So, I really have to double time.
Napunta naman po natin yung inyong pamilya. kayo'y balita ko, meron kayong 4 na anak. But I remember, pinakilala niyo sa akin yung inyong kabiyak, si Erlinda.
Betty po.
Akala ko Erlinda. Hindi ba?
Baka nagkamali lang tayo.
Ako ba nagkamali o kayo?
Yeah, Betty.
Betty?
Yeah.
Okay, si Betty. Paano niyo naman nakilala si Ma'am Betty?
So, we were faculty members of MSAC.
Teacher pala siya.
So, forester siya, nagturo. Doon ko nasulya pa.
Nasulyapan lang, ha? Hindi niyo na binitawan
Hindi
yung
ko na
sulyap.
binatawa.
Tapos yung...
Yun, nagkaroon kami 4 na anak. Eldest is a girl, second was a boy, then 2 girls. But unfortunately, yung second, who was the only boy, ay namatay nung 9 years old siya. Would have been 43 by now.
Oh, 9 years old, namatay na siya.
Opo.
Tapos yung iba niyong anak, nag-aaral sa Amerika?
Hindi
O
po,
saan?
lahat dito sa national ay local. Yung eldest, finish in UPLB with BS Biology. Now, siya Vice President
Wow,
sa
Vice President na?
Land Bank of the Philippines
Aba.
now. Yung second daughter
pala.
is Assistant Professor now sa Central Luzon State University sa Muñoz, Nueva Ecija. Then the third daughter is connected with a global non-government organization, Oceana, which is very responsible dun sa ocean protection.
So yung pumanaw yung anak niyo ng lalaki.
Opo.
At age 9, ha?
At age, he
Alam
was
niyo,
9.
ako meron ding anak, si Carlo, na pumanaw. At talagang ininda ko yon. Kayo naman, ano?
Ganon din po.
Ah.
Ang hirap. Hanggang ngayon, nandyan pa rin. Nasa kwarto namin yung revolto niya. Something like that.
Paano ba ito nga pala namatay?
Mayroon siyang, nung natuklasan po, ay he was playing in school and volleyball. Nadapa siya, so dinala na siya sa hospital doon. May fractured leg na, upper third femur. May cancer pala. Advanced na.
So,
In
kaya
4 months' time,
So,
he
cancer
passed
pala.
away.
Oh. Anyway, ano ba sa tingin nyo ang, kung kayo magpapasalamat na binigyan kayo ng dakilang lumika ng isang buhay, anong pwede nyo pang pagpasalamat maliban doon?
Well, that I have reached everything. Like I never have imagined to become a Secretary of Agriculture.
And twice over.
Twice
At baka
over.
may
So
third time
wala
pa.
na akong hingiin pa. Sana good health palagi na lang.
Anong pinakadakilang aral na natutuhan nyo sa buhay?
Again, it's to get a good education, to get out of poverty through hard work. You know.
And what legacy would you want to share?
Ganon din ang
And then?
ano ko sa aking mga anak na there's no substitute for doing the best you could in any assignment or responsibility you have and do it right.
Okay. Puntahan naman po natin. Meron kaming fun
Opo.
segment dito. Kanina masyado tayong seryoso. Ngayon naman, meron akong bibigay sa inyo emojis. Kanina pinaliwanag sa inyo how you're going to use that. Papakita kami yung mga larawan dyan. And then, as a response, ipakita nyo sa screen kung alin man dyan ang katugma dun sa reaction nyo, dun sa makikita nyong larawan. Pwedeng marami kayong ilabas, sabay-sabay, pwedeng isa lang.
Opo.
And you can make your comment. Unahin po natin ang unang larawan.
Opo.
Yan. Presidente Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Mahal na mahal natin.
Nako, mahal na mahal.
Oo.
Ano ang katangian ang nagustuhan nyo sa maraming katangian nitong presidente?
Aba, si Presidente ay hindi ka
Hindi ka pinakikialaman sa trabaho.
Hindi pinakikialaman. You are on your own. Very simple yung
instruction.
bilin niya. Number 1, palaguhin mo ang sektor. Number 2, no to corruption.
Yan lang.
See?
Dalawa pala.
So you have to really now be guided by this.
Okay, yung pangalawa. Kilala niyo ba yan? Hindi
Ito
ko
yung
kilala.
si Rosendos.
Anong reaction niyo dyan sa emoji?
Ako...
Sad? Angry?
Ako, I am now at peace with myself. Siya yung isang detractor. Na
Detractor
criticizing my moves every now and then. But ako, as I've said, hindi ako nagtatanim ng galit.
Okay.
So, pinatawad ko na lahat. Bahala ng Diyos.
Emoji. So,
So,
anong emoji?
I love them already.
Okay. So, next. Yeah.
Ayun,
Sino
parehas
ba yan?
din. Parehas niya.
isa rin
Si
yan.
Ensyong. Attorney Ensyong. Sa poultry naman ito.
Poultry.
Opo, ganun din. Na, I don't know, pinulitika ako. So, ganito, I love them now.
Next. Manuel Lamata.
Ito naman sa Sokal.
Mukhang Kastila yan, ha?
Oo. Siya yung
Critic mo rin yan.
critic ng SRA. Yung importation, ayaw niya.
Producer ba siya?
Producer.
Planter? Kaya pala.
So, yeah. Wala tayong magawa. Mahal natin na sila.
Okay.
Anyway, nagwagi na tayo dun sa issue na yun.
Next. Ayan,
Ito.
si Presidente
Si Presidente,
Bongbong Marcos.
yun, bigyan natin ng heads.
Yeah, thumbs up and
Yun.
dalawa.
Nasaan yung mahal na mahal natin? Yun.
Yun. Tatlo.
So, sana makita niya ito na we respect him so much.
Okay. Next. Ito.
Opo.
Si Ma'am Cynthia.
Yeah, thumbs up ko na lang kasi kaibigan ko yan dati.
Bakit thumbs up na lang? Parang meron kayong hinuhugutan, ha?
May policy principles na nagdidifferent. We don't agree together.
Meron kayong
Yun lang. May kunting...
Nagkasalungatan kayo sa isang issue.
But I respect her as a good senator.
Ito naman nung isa. Sana nanonood sa kwarto niya.
Aba, si Pangulong Erap, ganun din.
Anong natin dyan?
Okay. Thumbs up siya.
Okay.
Magaling siya rin. Ganun din na hindi ka pinakakialaman. So,
pinabayaan kayo,
magagaling yung mga presidente na maganon. Na appoints you, then
Do your
leave
work.
you there. Do your work. Yeah.
Paunlarin mo, basta walang korupsyon. Okay na okay.
Opo.
Ito naman, si Senador dati.
Ito alam ninyo, malaking, di ba siya ang Senate President? And we were having a hard time kasi yung investigasyon sa Senate tungkol dun sa taripa sa pork. Again, I was using yung informed decision making. Hindi nila maniwala na may pagkukulang. May pagkukulang sa pork kasi nandyan ang African swine fever. Even ngayon, huwag tayo, let's not be sitting on our progress but continue to be able to manage
So,
the
anong
African
ilalagay
swine
niya dyan?
fever. Okay, ito. Paano ba ito?
Ano ba yan?
Mahalin na lang. Huwag na lang.
Ito namang sumunod.
Ito ganun din ang level ni
Same level, ha?
Oo.
Okay, mabait talaga kayo. Ito. Ito, kasama natin to.
Si Ben. Okay. Yeah, kasama ko rin nung Erap Estrada's period.
Cabinet.
Budget Secretary siya dati. Kung sa atin, ganun din Budget Secretary. Then later on became Governor. Principled man.
Thumbs up. Itong isang ito, medyo inapito.
Okay. Ito si Leo Sebastian. He was my chief of staff.
Okay.
When I was Secretary of Agriculture dito kay Pangulong Duterte. And he has all the, competence and the integrity. He does not deserve what he has undergone. itong sa sugar. Now he's absolved.
Yes.
So,
Ang ayaw ko lang dun sa absolution na yan, merong kulatilya eh. Inadmonish eh.
yeah, so thumbs up. So,
Yes.
magaling siya.
Kaya dapat ibalik. Ibalik sa pwesto. So, maraming salamat.
Thank you again,
William
Secretary Sal.
Dar.
It's an honor to be part of this
Oh,
program.
our pleasure. Sana, sa totoo lang, gusto kong marinig ko yung mga paliwanag nyo. Ikaw dapat ang piliin ni Presidente Bongbong. But anyway, kung
this
sa'yo
is-
talagang mapupunta
Yeah.
sa'yo. Maraming
Let's
salamat.
leave it to God.
Yes. Thank you very much. Pagbabalik
Salamat po.
po ng Counterpoint after a few reminders from our sponsors.
Open for business with Cesar Vallejos every Sunday, 9 p.m.
Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25. Magandang araw. Magandang araw.
Sumulat ka rin pala sa Philippine Star.
Yes, before I had a column.
Pero hindi mo namimiss mag-write?
Actually, yung nasa sabihin ko, parang ngayon na nasabi mo, parang namimiss ko nga magsulat, di ba?
So, balik tayo sa love. Naging boyfriend mo daw si William Martinez. Akala ko si Yayo. Yayo lang. Pero ano yung nag-motivate sa'yo, Ate Jackie Lou? Hindi ko na-achieve yung magka-abs, ha? Grabe yung abs mo, Ate Jackie Lou, ha? Let's play a simple game, like mother, like daughter. When thinking about love, Ara believes in happily ever after. Tawa niyo.
Hi, this is Jackie Lou.
This is Ara.
Abangan ninyo kami sa Magandang Araw this Saturday at 3 p.m. only on Net 25.
Magandang araw. Magandang araw. Magandang araw. Let's get together. Sunday 25. Sunday 25.
Sa bisa ng Proklamasyon number 711 na nilagdaan ni dating Pangulong Fidel Ramos noong 1996, itinakda ang ikatlong linggo ng Enero bilang Philippine National Autism Consciousness Week.
Nung time po na yon ay na-recognize na talagang dumarami na ang mga taong nasa autism spectrum. No? According to World Health, 1% of the world population ay nasa autism spectrum. Okay? So ginawa po yon nung una in 1996 para po maka-inspire ng awareness. Nung una po awareness lang. Pero ngayon nga po, malayo na po ang narating natin. Ang gusto po natin ay acceptance, accommodation, and appreciation ng mga taong nasa autism spectrum.
Ngunit marami pa ring mga Pilipino ang hindi nakakaalam ng kondisyon ng mga batang may autism.
Ang autism po, ang sinasabi natin ay neurological. Meron pong sigurong kakaiba sa pagka-wire ng brain ng ating mga anak kung saan ito ay nakakaapekto sa kanyang communication and socialization at yung pong tinatawag nating paulit-ulit, repetitive na behavior. No? So yung po yung pinaka layman term natin, no, na pag-explain sa autism. But ang sabi nga po naming mga magulang sa Autism Society Philippines, ito po ay neurodiversity, no? Meron lang silang kakaibang pag-iisip, kakaibang paggawi or pagkilos, but sabi nga po, different but not less. No? So, it's just a matter of accepting them.
Ang autism ay kabilang sa tinatawag na hidden disability, kung saan hindi madaling matukoy o malaman na may kapansanan sila. Kaya naman, kadalasan ay hindi na ibibigay sa kanila ang nararapat na accommodation at access.
Sa ibang bansa po, no, kagaya po sa UK at kahit po sa Malaysia, meron pong ginagamit na para po silang mga symbol ng hidden disability, kagaya po ng sunflower sa UK. Or in Malaysia, they're using the butterfly. So ang ginagawa po nila, pinagsusuot nila ng ID na merong lanyard na nakalagay yung butterfly or yung sunflower, kung ano po yung gagamiting symbol. No? Halimbawa po, pumasok sila sa airport at yung airport ay kabisado nila na pag po nakasuot ng ganung tag, yun po ay mayroong hidden disability like autism. At yun din po ay balak natin gawin. Dito, umpisahan po natin doon sa isang major partner natin na leading chain of malls. No? So that yung iba po ay pag nakita ka agad na, ay, meron siya suot na ganung ID. Okay, so may autism ito. So alam po nila kung paano i-accommodate yung mga ganong customers or passengers, no, or clients on the autism spectrum para hindi po nagkakaroon ng misunderstanding. Kasi kagaya po ng nasabi ko, unlike po those with physical disabilities where you provide ramps, no, or you provide, ano po yun, yung mga braille or yung mga hahawakan nila para po sila, or sign language. Ang palagi po namin inuulit-ulit for autism, ang kailangan po lang natin ay your understanding and your compassion in terms of dealing with them. Autism Society Philippines is a family support group, no? Composed of families, professionals, and institutions. So, ang aming vision is to create an autism-friendly Philippines and of course the world, no, where persons on the autism spectrum, no, are accepted, accommodated, appreciated, no? Not just hindi lang po awareness ang habol natin.
Kaya naman sa ika-27 taong pagdiriwang ng Philippine National Autism Consciousness ngayong linggo, nakikisa ang Counterpoint sa layunin nito na lumikha ng isang lipunan na may pagpapahalaga sa mga batang may kapansanan upang maabot nila ang kanilang buong potensyal.
Ako po ang inyong katuwang tungkol sa usaping ito.
Nasa puso dapat ng Pilipino to love what is Filipino.
Kaya dapat ihayag ng saloobin.
Kahit gaano kasi karami yung doktor natin, kung may bayad din, baliwala din.
Paano makakabili ang Pilipino ng bigas?
Himayin ang hinaing.
Gaano karaming pera bang kailangan mo para maging masaya ka?
Alamin ang pwedeng gawin.
So I think the lesson is, pag may fake news, i-correct ka agad ng people concerned.
Sagutin mo agad. Mag-reality check tayo.
Check yun.
Check.
Check na check.
Double check.
Check na check tayo dyan.
Let's get together. Sunnet 25. Sunnet 25.
Another day is about to end, but let me leave you something to remember from George Washington. Agriculture is the most helpful, most useful, and most noble employment of man. Join me again next week as we engage with some of the country's most interesting, influential, and controversial personalities. I am Salvador Panelo, and this is Counterpoint.